In this video, I'm going to break down Westside Gunn's production into 2 beats, showing you how his production team Griselda makes that dark, modern boom bap sound. And I want you to pay attention to the 3 key words: sampling, texture, and bounce. Let's start with the first beat. With producers like Conductor Williams often using samples for Westside, this brings me on to sampling. To find a sample like in Peppers, I go to this website Samplet and I filter through the genres blues, funk, soul and jazz. I ended up finding a sample, chopping it into a 4-bar loop and pitching it down. And what makes this sample so important, if I put on the metronome, you can notice it's a little bit off the grid. And this brings me on to the second word, texture. You'll notice throughout his production that lo-fi vinyl texture, and to achieve that I just EQ a lot out and add this vinyl texture. Just like you hear throughout Westside's 327. I added some textural upright piano. But I wanted to make this sound a little bit more authentic. So as you can see here, I'm just playing with the pitch and I just pitched it up a little bit so it sort of matches on the sample. That just detunes it so it's a little bit more real. Let's listen to it without the detuning. Let's listen to it with. With drums, it comes to the third thing, bounce. Westside drums have that boom bap swing, which totally complements a sample like this. I use this swing knob that's on the drum rack. So let's listen to it without. Notice the difference when we add this swing. And what complements this swing so well, using velocities on the kicks and the hi-hats. And you can see I've put some of the drums off the grid, and to make more groove, shifting the hi-hats. And I just found this drum fill from Splice. And just like I used texture on the sample, this is still important on the drums. And to give that Griselda grit, I just ran all the drums through this cassette tape. Let's listen to how different it sounds when I turn it on. And again, using basses with grooves can give extra bounce. Again, you can see I've positioned them off the grid so they're a little bit more authentic. Moving on to the second beat. If you're like me and you wonder how these soulful jazz samples are made, this time I'm going to show you how to make your own. So I started off with a dark piano like in Fly God. And to give it that lo-fi texture I previously mentioned, I added this reels and vinyl player, which sounded like this when they was added. Then again, keeping it simple and using a dark lead. Again, letting texture create feel. Then I added a choir to add to that Griselda sound. And to fit in this direction, I added 2 string layers. This moves me on to the bell sound. This is very important when it comes to Westside's production because they're creating texture and bounce at the same time. With each of these sounds, I want you to notice how they're placed. And to break down a sample, I added this detuned bell. I wanted to give it that Griselda sample sound. Watch how when I change the attack, how this affects it. Then I added the Griselda chime sounds from Splice. Then to make this more sound like a sample of old, I went into Splice and found this jazzy vocal chop.
Hey, maybe she got some friends. What's her name? What's her name? I don't know her name. Her name is Sherry. No.
Then I went to Splice and I wanted to find some vintage boom bap drums. Then when matching it with a simple bass, it all sounds like this.
For pleasure, you left that nigga cause I fucked you better. Situation